Okay, so this is about the sources of capital. What is sources of capital? What is capital actually? What is capital? Capital is in Malay we can translate it as modal. Yeah? So you need finance. You need something to finance your business. Okay, you need something to finance your business. So what kind of so that's why in some books they call it as sources of fund or sources of finance. So when you need a finance, and then what kind of finance that you need? Is it internal? Is it external? Is it related to the government? Is it related to the bank? Is it just related to your family and friends? So it will be introduced in this topic, everything. So we also discuss on the alternative financing, like we have the new terms, we call it as bootstrapping. What is this? And then we have you will be introduced on financial institutions, mostly related to the small business. Okay. All right. These are the sources of funds. Okay. So involve look at it. Personal savings. So we have several types of personal savings. So personal savings related to the owner one, like for example, the money in the bank, our money in the bank, or our money uh, we save at home, or our money that is related to, for example, we have the car, so we may, yeah, we may sell our car, then get cash. That will be our money. It will fall under personal savings as well. We have, for example, we have some assets, then we sell it and we get money in order for you to for us to start a business. That is the personal money as well. So same goes to the loans from family and friends. We can have several ways, several loans from family and friends, and sources of funds from supplier, for example. You bought goods on credit, okay. Sources of fund from the bank in terms of loans, okay, or sources of fund from equity financing. We may have there are a lot of sources of funds, all sources of capital that is available for us to choose. So these are a very simple example we will discuss in detail later. All right, then now you want to identify the sources of business finance or sources of capital. We have debt financing, but these are the basic. Previously, most of the old books they have only these two: debt financing and equity financing, and later in the later they added under alternative financing. Okay. Yes, these are all the examples of sources of capital. We have banyak kan kat sini. So we'll discuss it one by one later actually. I have categorized it into internal, external, or debt and equity. We have venture capital. Venture capital is actually under equity. We have friends and family. It is some books categorize it under internal funds, some books categorize it under external funds. It depends. But when I did my PhD, the topic for my PhD thesis is actually on sources of capital. So I categorize it under internal funds and the friends and family. And then IPO is related to this the public funds. So it is external as well. We have funding sources like crowdfunding. The crowdfunding nowadays, yeah, is very famous with that. No need for you to pay it back, but the funds is from the public. Okay, then we have personal savings. I believe you know about it. The personal savings, it means that our own savings. Okay, it can be from the bank, it can be from, like for example, from tabung haji, for example, or from our ASB, whatever, as long as this is your personal savings. And we have bank overdraft. What is bank overdraft? Bank overdraft is this is related to the current saving. Okay, It means that when even though the money in the bank is negative, you still can withdraw it. So we will be recorded as negative lah. So if it's a negative bank, we call it as bank overdraft. And we have the bank loan as well. Bank loan, you have to apply it. It's different from the bank overdraft. As long as the bank of the overdraft, you just apply a current account, and then it will automatically you can automatically will be eligible for you to use the bank overdraft service. But for the bank loan, okay, for the bank loan, you will have to apply from bank. This is pinjaman, right? So it can be short term, it can be the long term bank loan. And a business loan, the business loan. What's different between bank loan and business loan? Business loan, it can be from the bank as well, okay, but it's specifically for the business. Bank loan, it can be under business loan, or it can be you apply it under personal loan. Okay, then we categorize it under bank loan. If you apply, for example, the business loan from the bank, from Maybank, for example, then we categorize it under business loan. Okay, that's the only difference. And we have the finance company. We'll discuss in detail on this. It may involve the equity as well. And we have specific capital sources, angel investors. I yes, I believe I shared the link. You may watch it later. Okay, we had that capital grant. Okay, grants is most of the time from the government. Okay, the government issued the grant. You have to propose something, then the government will give you the grant. No need for you to pay it back because it is a grant, right? Then what is the bootstrapping? Bootstrapping is I categorize it under alternative financing. What is factoring? Yeah, it's also quite even though not even though what we call the percentage of the business you use the factoring is quite small, but you still have to know what does it mean by factoring. Credit card, I believe most of you know about it. And we have crowdfunding, I mentioned just now. And then we have this business incubator. What is this? Okay, the commercial bank. I believe most of you know about it. Retained earnings. What is retained earnings? Retained earnings means something that we have started a business. Okay, this what happened when you have started a business and you, let's say, you gain net profit. Okay, gain net profit, then you have to decide how many percent that you have to retain, how many percent that you plan to invest. Okay, so this the term retained earnings is when you retain the earnings, it can be the source of capital as well. Okay, some books they record it as retained earnings is totally 100% is equal to net profit. It depends. Okay, some companies they retain some percentage, they another the remaining percentage they reinvest it. So it's up to you as the owner to decide on that. And we have the commercial paper. What does it mean by commercial paper? Which discuss it later. Okay, and equity capital and debt financing. Okay, this basically, okay, it will be categorized into either internal or external debt or the equity financing. Okay, before we go in detail on uh, the categories, okay, you have to know what are the factors that may affect you on to choose what type of financing that you need. Okay, the first one, of course, the availability of the funds itself. Let's say you have the personal savings of 100,000, for example. Okay, for example. So when you have the personal savings of 100,000, when you want to start a business, and the business it's quite small. It's under micro financing. So you may just use your personal funds, okay? Because it is available for yourself. Let's say you just have a saving 50 ringgit. That's how to start a business. You still can start a business. For example, you apply the grant from the government, something that you no need for you to pay it back. It is an external one, but something that no need for you to pay it back. Or you may choose to, yeah, it's okay. I just prepared a business proposal. Okay, the business plan, then you apply the loan from the bank because it is available for you, for example. So the availability of the funds is very important when you want to decide on which type of financing that you are going to use. Okay, number two is related to the assets of the venture. Okay, let's say you need a very modern, sophisticated machine, for example. Okay, and it will cost you, for example, more than 50,000. So, in order for you to, instead of, let's say instead of um buy in cash. So you decide to, let's say, to go for leasing, for example, or to go for hire purchase. So it is up to, it depends on what type of asset that you need. Okay, let's say if it is a small business, you just need a very yeah, the machine, the cost of the machine is only 200 ringgit, for example, then you may buy in cash. So it's up to, it depends on the type of assets of the venture itself. And then the interest rate. Okay, let's say you decide on choosing the bank loan, for example. Okay, there are a lot of financial institutions, the bank that can offer the loan. So how to decide on that? You look at the pro and cons. Most of the time, we look at the interest rates. So you choose the the one with the lowest interest rates, the one that can offer you the best service, for example. Okay, so it depends, and all financing requires some level of equity. The amount will vary by nature and size of venture. Okay, this all financing is actually referring to the equity financing, of course. When we talk about equity financing, it will involve the ownership of the company. Okay, some level of equity. So uh, it you have to, later when we discuss on the venture capital, when we discuss on the business angel, then you will see what's the difference between the equity and the debt financing. Okay, some, if you are willing to share the ownership, then you go for which type of financing. So we will discuss in detail.